Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. I am so happy I finally get to tell you guys about this. I have been working so hard on this project for about the last year, but today is finally the day I get to tell you guys I'm getting my signature guitar from Gibson. The Trogly Signature LP-400 is happening later this year. This is just an absolute monstrosity, a complete beast of a guitar, and you've never seen anything quite like this. So here we go, we got the official Gibson press release right here. It's looking great. But we're actually doing a custom shop and a USA version. So this is just the custom shop, the big mamma jamma big daddy. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So basically, my whole thought process behind this is let's take a Gibson Super 400, the king of the archtop world, and let's mix it with my favorite model, the Les Paul, because I love jazz box guitars. I think they're cool. And I've really been falling in love with the ES styled instruments, but this, I wanted to blend that with a Les Paul. So what I've done is I've blended like all of my favorite models together. So the body, I'm actually borrowing this from the Gibson Les Paul Supreme. You can check out my 125th anniversary Les Paul Supreme review if you want to learn a little bit more about Supremes. But what you need to know about a Supreme is how they're built. They're actually completely chambered out, and they have a maple top on the front, and they also have a carved maple back. So these are larger than a regular Les Paul. So it still has a little bit of that arch top feel to it. And I still went with the maple, but I opted for really tight pinstripey flame because I thought it had more of a vintage aesthetic to it. Then of course I went with my favorite 34 burst finish because why would you not want that? I think it looks awesome with this guitar, especially on the front, how it highlights this whole area and all the other features that we still need to talk about. And on the back, I just wanted it to be something, you know, kind of plain, but something that really shows off the carved back. But now let's talk about the rest of the design on the body. So, you're gonna notice, this has a floating bridge with an ABR1 on it? What? Okay, so this is actually, get this, a piezo bridge. So even though I opted to only have a neck pickup like some super arch-toppy jazz guy guitars have, I wanted it to be a little bit more versatile at the same time. That's why I added the hidden piezo. So what this whole floating bridge system is, you just have a regular ABR1 drilled into the top, and this is just like a veneer, essentially. They just glue it onto the top to make it look like it's a floating bridge. I thought that was fantastic. And we decided just to leave it plain, not put any fancy inlays or anything on it. But that also helps us hide that wire that comes down from the bottom of this bridge, and that leads into the cavity down here. So our controls here are volume for our neck pickup, master tone, and then this blends the piezo in. So you can turn off your magnetic pickup and just have all piezo, or you can have a blending of the two. You can do whatever you want. So you get some of the acoustic personalities of an archtop just in electrified format. I thought about being really crazy and like opening up the side, but that just got too costly. I mean, these things are gonna be expensive enough. But the other pickup that we have going on here, if you're not familiar, that is a staple pickup. Oh yes, you know, the 54 Les Paul Custom, right? Other jazzy archtops also got those things. I just thought this is the perfect time to bring back an Alnico 5 staple pickup because they are classy. Pair that with our little nose pickguard here that is a tortoise shell with aged cream binding that also matches on the edge of the guitar. This whole thing has that lightly tinted lacquer to it, so it's going to be slightly aged looking, but these are just going to be a nice light VOS, so they're going to look a little bit old to begin with. Then you check out our tailpiece. Basically, I stole a Super 400 tailpiece and then engraved it with Les Paul 400. But what you can't see at this photo angle, I love the look of trapeze tailpieces, but I hate them. They just make the whole guitar feel different. So this is actually a string through body design. So similar to a regular Les Paul Supreme, the output jack has been enlarged. So you actually have to fish your strings through here, and then pull them out like that. Yeah, it's a little bit of a pain, but that's the only way that we could have a string through body design without messing up the back of the guitar. Essentially what we have is an extended ferrule system, so it's not too hard to get it in there because there's like leading tubes, and then that goes up and then mounts through the tailpiece like regular, but it doesn't feel like you have one of those. It still feels like a string through or stop bar tailpiece instrument. That is a beautiful design that took a long time to get right. So it still feels like a stop bar tailpiece, but you get the awesome look of a trapeze tailpiece. So it's still super anchored, it's not gonna move. Now as far as the front of the body, we've got 5-ply binding going on, so kind of like a Les Paul Custom. But you're gonna notice on the back, I did do a little bit of a throwback with only 3-ply binding. I thought that was a nice little touch. And now we get to the neck. So I am a big sucker for like super ultra multi-ply fretboards, and that's exactly what we've done here. I think, is it 5-ply? I forget. But you've got all those little lines going through it, just similar to a The Les Paul. But we just went for a straight up basic ebony fretboard with the Super 400 inlays, because if we're calling it the LP-400, you might as well do that, right? I thought about going super crazy and like doing abalone for the center stripe of the every other one, but we just let it be with mother of pearl, and it looks great, it feels great, and plays fantastic. I thought about really going crazy and being like, hey, how about we do a 25.5-inch scale length, but we decided just to leave it alone at 24 3/4. But what you're going to notice here, our headstock and our neck is looking completely new. So a lot of those older archtop guitars, instead of being 5-ply, they would go 3-ply. So this is 2 pieces maple and a center stripe of walnut. But also notice you get the black cap at the back of the heel. So I didn't want to go like super crazy flamey. I kind of like it when it's a little bit nonchalant when it comes to these older guitars. Now obviously it's going to vary example to example, but our prototype here, it's just a nice light flame figuring. They've nailed that finish. It looks absolutely gorgeous with that small teardrop shape right here. And it is a big 50s neck profile, so I hope you guys like that. But then we go up here. I decided to give it the black stinger because it looks great matching with the center stripe. And then I went as far as giving it the custom emblem back here. That's something that some of those guitars would get as well. I don't think I've ever seen a Les Paul ever get that treatment. And then I had Gibson bring back the flip out winding tuners just for this guitar. So it's the Schaller made style. I thought about going for the waffle back tuners, but I thought, hey, if I'm getting a signature guitar, I wanted to have the flip out winding tuners. Because we've done the diamond posi lock strap buttons on the Adam Jones signature, but we had not brought those things back. So yes, they're coming back. But now moving on to the face of the headstock, we get the old style Gibson logo. That looks great with that nice yellowed ambered over lacquer. We went with a kind of shrunken down Super 400 truss rod cover. It reads custom on it. I had a hard time choosing the nut material. I was either going to go like a The Les Paul multi-ply bone and wood, but I decided to go with brass because who doesn't want a brass nut, right? This whole guitar is an absolute masterpiece. And you're probably wondering, how many are they making? I mean, I'm Trogly, I'm not Slash, I can't sell a bunch of these. We are going to make 25 of these custom shop guitars, and I'm sorry to say that the retail price will be $15,000 because I just went a little bit too crazy packing everything in this guitar, but it is a for sure absolute collectible, and I'm going to be keeping one of these for myself because I don't even have to pay for it. Oh man, isn't it just beautiful? But I know a lot of you are probably sad that you can't afford this guitar, so we're actually going to do a limited edition USA run as well. So not custom shop, it's not going to have all the cool attributes of this, but we're going to do it in 3 very unique, distinct finishes. The first one just being straight up black. So what makes the USA version different from the custom shop iteration is, I'm sorry, we had to take the piezo out. That was just a big pain in the butt. It's no longer going to be a Les Paul Supreme frame, so they're going to be a little bit smaller. It's just going to have the arched top, but the back's going to be the same. These guys are also going to have mahogany necks, and it's just going to be the regular Gibson logo. So a little bit less fancy, but these guys will at least be a bit cheaper at $5,000 US. It's very expensive for a Gibson USA, but at the same time, I had them still do a whole bunch of stuff because we are still getting all of the multiply binding. We're still getting the ebony fretboard with the Super 400 inlays. They're still going to give it the VOS job. But this one, we're actually calling it the LP-5, like the L5. So this one will still get a faux BR1 bridge, so it's going to have studs underneath there, but we are still going to do that little cover-up piece so it has the right look. But this one is going to string up just by the tailpiece itself. It's not doing that crazy string through design I had them pull off. But I think this black one looks great, especially with that tinted over ambered lacquer. I'm sure it'll make somebody very happy. The next color option, if you didn't like the 34 burst, here's a more traditional like vintage sunburst finish. Again, it's got that light amber tint to it, but it would not be a Trogly run of guitars if I didn't pay tribute to the 70s, right? So here is the final color option. That's right, I got them to do blue sparkle. This one's actually going to be a $500 premium, so at $5,500 for a Gibson USA, I get it. It's expensive, but check out the nickel hardware, the beautiful blue finish. You just wait until you see one of these things in person. The other thing that makes this one unique is it does not have the aged lacquer, because you know you got like the nickel chrome going on, so the white definitely plays off of the sparkle better. And just like the custom shop iteration, these are also going to be highly limited. I've been told that they're making 20 of the sparkles, 30 of the vintage sunburst, and 20 of them in black. I don't know about you guys, but I am really excited to be able to do the review and demo of this guitar for you tomorrow. And then after that, pre-orders will open up, and they were telling me that they're hoping that they can get these to you guys by Christmas. I mean, they've got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Cesar's been really good about trying to get this moved up that way. It's not like spanning multiple years, but they've been talking that they want to do a whole bunch of signature guitars with me. I mean, that's what's kind of unique about me is I just talk about guitars on the internet, so I can spec things out really crazily because I have a lot of experience with a lot of different guitars. Even though I'm not necessarily known for my guitar playing skills, it is a huge honor to be able to work with Gibson and create something like this. And let me tell you, this is not going to be our last one. As long as these things sell okay, they've already given me the okay for a number 2, and let me tell you, next time it's a Firebird with a Les Paul. Alright, Troglodytes, make sure you help me spread this fantastic news today, and we will catch you tomorrow on the next episode. April Fools. Take care.